getting back to this because gosh dang, I am tired and I need to. Man. Honestly, sounds like a great time, Crab. I'm not gonna lie. Oh man, how have you been, man? I don't have much to report right now. Mostly, the most significant thing is I went on a date on Monday, and I've just been trying to get by on getting some other stuff figured out in life. But I haven't really done much else besides that because it's been busy at work. And somehow, I was able to manage to hide the fact that I actually do YouTube. So, give the deets on the date. We matched on a dating app. Nothing too exciting there. We started talking. She messaged me first because on my profile, I mentioned that I use a cookbook from the Redwall series because growing up, the Redwall book series was my favorite book series ever. And so when I found out they had a cookbook, I bought it. So she messaged me first going, hey, what recipes have you used from that? Because this is my favorite recipe. So we started talking for a little bit and just moved on from there. Afterwards, a couple of days went by and we met up at her favorite coffee shop. And so we mostly started talking about a couple of things there. Originally, we met up because she wanted me to teach her how to draw because I do like portraits and a little bit of realism, and she'd only done cartoons, mostly Steven Universe stuff. But after a little bit, I taught her a few tricks on how to kind of get started with doing realistic drawings and how to change things up a bit. After that, we just talked a little bit about the book series that we both like because she and I like the same book series, different reasons, but it's kind of interesting just to talk with somebody else about that said series because I feel like almost nobody else has really talked about it, much less read it. So it was very fun. I enjoyed actually talking with somebody about like the intricacies of the Redwall series because few people ever seem to have read it. And it was interesting just to talk with someone about, yeah, this is why I like this book. This is my favorite of the series. This is what I like about the themes. So it was really nice and refreshing. But yeah, date for the most part went well. She let me borrow a book from her. And so I'm trying to read it as fast as I can. So the next time I meet up with her, I can give it back and say, thank you so much. Because I've wanted to read that book in the series for a while. Thanks. I was going into it, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but as things have gone, I'm very optimistic about it. But we definitely agreed that second date was definitely an option. So we've only talked a handful of times because I've been busy at work, so I haven't really been able to talk to her too much. But one of my friends came back online after 5 years offline. Oh, hells yeah, man. That's exciting. But yeah, as far as the date stuff goes for me, I was taken aback, pleasantly surprised. The only thing that I jokingly said was a red flag with some of my close friends is that she is a Disney adult. Now, I've got no problem if somebody likes Disney. She went to Disney college. I didn't know this was a thing, so I spent a lot of time asking her, like, I'm sorry, what is that? How does that work? It's a program? Interesting. So I learned a lot about Disney while on that date that I didn't know was a thing. So definitely going to meet up with her, but I'm not the biggest Disney fan. Hey, Vinny. Could have went to McDonald's college. I mean, that's true. That is true. Hey, Mosquito. Thank you. Thank you, Philly. Yeah, just trying to get this guy painted up because I've had him for a while, but I've just been busy with work that I haven't been able to actually stream. But yeah, no, for the most part, she was really cool. She was nice. I enjoyed going on a date with her. The only red flag for me, and I'm ignoring it for the most part right now, is her dream is to go to California to work at Disneyland, which, pop off. I love to see somebody with obsessions and with dreams. I don't know if I want to live in California. So that's something. Did you know that Disney has an NSFW vault? Yeah, no, apparently there's like a whole thing about Chippendale in the vaults over there. So that's something. Thank you, Mosquito. Thank you. My voice is one of the few decent things I have in this life, so I like to use it as much as I can. So, you see, Jesse, I am biased against California because I am from Oregon. And look, California is fine, but seeing the Californians change my state and how things have been since we've had an influx of them move in, y'all aren't sending your best over here. I will say that much. I'm not against California in some aspects. I think it's fine. But some of y'all just are too crazy for me. Iowa's great because nothing bad happens. Iowa sucks because nothing happens. Hey, you know what? That's fair. Send them back. Trust me, man, we're trying. They bought all of the good housing in Oregon, so we can't send them back. And if we did, we're not going to be able to pay for the houses that they took. You definitely need 1,000 subs. Thank you, Mosquito. I don't know about that. I'm just trying to do my best to have fun while doing my hobbies. It'd be nice to have 1,000 subs or more. However, if I'm going to do that, I need to actually make my content more often. I've been struggling to get a couple of videos finished and published on my channel just because I've been busy with work. And I haven't been able to dedicate myself to getting everything done. So that is definitely me being in my own way. I will say that much. I mean, 1 million subs would be nice. I don't know if I'm skilled enough to maintain or deserve that, but I am working towards it. Just because if I can get enough money from doing YouTube, I could open my own media company, and I'd like to try making some video games. I like to try my hand at video games, and I'd also like to open an animation company just to do some stuff there. Because I'd really like to try my hand at a few things, but it's going to be a while. Thank you, Mosquito. But that's kind of my thing right now is, although I'm working in real life and I'm trying to get by and build up my life, my main goal right now is I want to eventually have my YouTube channel pop off just a little bit more so I can kind of move anywhere I want to and start up a media company so I can work on some of my dream projects. Because I think it'd be nice. Honestly, I am shit at coding, so if you know anything about coding, man, I'd love to work with you on that. My thing is I'm good at writing and storyboarding, but for coding, I don't know anything about that. It's something I want to learn about or work on, just that way I can try to get something going. Because if possible, my first ventures, I want to try making a Fire Emblem clone out of the Redwall book series, but that'll be a while. Can't do coding, but I got ideas out the ass. Okay. You can never have too many idea, guys. You just need to make sure that there's not too many per project. But I'd definitely be down to go to work with you, man. The main thing right now is I got a friend who he was studying game design and he was actually doing coding. I just wasn't able to speak with him. I kind of fell off the face of the earth, and so I wasn't able to keep up with him. And he's going through some stuff in life right now, so he's definitely too busy to get that started off. But I have ideas and schemes. I just need to work on the time to actually get it all developed so I can get something set up. Because if I'm decent enough, or if I can assemble a team for a game design, I could theoretically just take out a loan and then try to go from there. I like the idea, Crab. I like the idea. I see the potential in that. Okay, so I do want to ask now, since balancing racing and fighting at the same time, how, like, realistically, how would we go for a race and a fight mixed together? I am curious how you would blend that to make it so that it's balanced without being too scatterbrained. Because I like the idea, but I'm curious how to balance that right. Oh boy. Yeah. Note to future self, whenever I paint this thing, because I want to buy more of these, I need to do sub-assemblies. Reaching around on some of these mechanical parts and getting these all painted evenly is not easy. I should probably draw it out next time so that way I have a roadmap to follow. Because so far I like the dynamic posing, but definitely in the future I need to do the pose last and glue everything together after it's painted. Pursuit style race, where the Decepticon side hunts down various Autobots, then the Autobot side hunts down Decepticons to find the main one in charge of the attacks. Oh. So there's a hide and seek mechanic. So it's not just tackle every guy off the road, it's you got to catch up to them, and then you got to knock them out of the sky, knock their teeth in, and knock out the right one. Okay. I like that. The end of the pursuit ending in fights is in interactable environments like a train yard fight. You can grind their face across a moving train. Ooh, I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. Yeah, no. Okay, I'm sold on the idea. Definitely have to. The main thing is we got to find people who can code so we can get this off the ground. And then follow-up question. Would we do customizable characters or a preset character? So it's a cast of like well-known faces, or are we going to allow preset faces and character customization for a custom one? Campaign of well-known faces with multiplayer with customization for multiple classes and prestige skins for the classes. Heavy class being tanks and heavy trucks like Brawl, Warpath, etc. Okay. I like it. I like it. I was thinking the story alternating between Barricade and his crew of Decepticons and Prowl and the emergency service-based Autobots. Ah, okay. Okay. I see the vision. Ah, crap, we gotta redo that. Man, I was so proud of these edge highlights. That was one of my ideas based on a well-known IP, though. I got other original ideas. Oh, fair enough. We all got to start somewhere when it comes to game design, and having ideas is part of it. After there, it goes into what more are or can you do? Because original IPs are fun, but they're also risky. Just because, how do you advertise it? How do you get the right name out there so that people give it a fair shake? Steam is nice for as long as Gaben is alive. As soon as Gabe Newell dies, I kind of fear for the development and distribution of video games. Because I know one of my ideas is definitely not an original idea. It's just Fire Emblem, but in the Redwall universe. So, trust me, I've got no problem with, hey, I've got an idea. Long as it's good, and if we can market it right, we should be able to get something off the ground. Like a story of a mad scientist forcibly modifying his daughter with cybernetics and her descent into psychosis as she is put into a kill squad of soldiers based off her successful trial. Ah, okay. I think I just want to get started on the base. I can get the small details, but I really want to get some improvement done today, and I think just focusing on the base would help me. So we're gonna clean that brush, move it to the side, and promptly drop it on the floor because I'm an idiot. That's fine. I need a thicker brush. That's kind of wide. That's too spindly. Well, that'll have to do. Because I think something that also fits in the Citadel pot. Okay. Where is my... I have an absurd amount of paints and I need to buy something so I can organize them because it's kind of getting out of hand. I am losing track of everything. Technical Armageddon dust. I believe it's this one. I think this is the textured one. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Let's get some texture on the rest of the base and the rocks. I have lots of ideas when I really think of something. I basically become an idea found. Okay, no, I understand that. That's definitely somebody I want to keep around whenever I look into game design for the future stuff that I want to work on. So I'll definitely keep it in mind because, hey, if I know you got good ideas, then I'll want to keep you around for them. And if we can make it happen, it'd be nice to be successful with friends and people I can trust. Oh yeah, no, I'll definitely need ideas sometime down the line. Tessia, this is a Chaos Wardog. Basically, it's just a giant mech that a human is piloting on the inside. This one's corrupted by Chaos or Hell. Hey, Francois, what's up? Bubblegum head mech. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be bubblegum in color, but I just kind of liked messing with the pink and brown to give it like a dirty flesh tone. Just because it's supposed to be a Chaos Wardog, so partially corrupted by Chaos, so it turns from mechanical to a bit fleshy. So I kind of just wanted to emulate that, and I just had a lot of fun with the pink, because I almost never use pink on anything. I need to change that. I need to find a faction that I can throw pink on, just to see how it looks. But yeah, right now, just trying to get this guy's... I'm trying to use some of my technical paint just to give some texture to the base. Because what I want to do is I want to base coat it with this, so that way in between the rocks there's a bunch of stubble and sand texturing on it. And then after that I want to paint it a different color though. Because most of my stuff have been based on water worlds, so I kind of want to see what I can do. The Barbie Marines. I think I'd rather do the Space Maids, where it's the Space Marines with the Maid Cafe, like the pink Maid Cafe uniforms. I thought that was funny. More of the usual here, just working for my Phantom Titan. Ooh, that's exciting. Yeah, because one of my favorite memes from the Warhammer community is just the it's the Imperial Knight Battle Cafe maid. I just like that a lot, and so I definitely want to have that as a piece I make for myself. Hello Kitty Marines are peak. Yes, that's right. There it is. Space Marines. Yep. Because right now, the base is very uneven on the textures, and so just need to get this guy kind of started just so I can feel like I've got more stuff. Because right now, for the rest of this guy, I just need to get some... I want to put some cursive lettering on the banner, because I decided I liked this model so much that I'm going to use him as my self-insert model character. And so I want to put a giant cursive Q on the banner and then make it dirty and muddy. But first, I need to finish painting this guy and getting him tabletop ready. Because I'm noticing in my area, there's a lot more game stores opening up that have Warhammer boxes and kits in them. So eventually, one of them's going to have an actual, like, thing set up so you can start doing games there. And so I kind of just want to see how far I can get, because the Space Marines are the faction I started with, and along with the underwater jump pack intercessor box that I have that I need to finish because I need to finish painting them. I also have a bunch of I got some infiltrators. I have 9 out of the 10 in the box because I gave my friend one because the rule was while I was hanging out with my friends, if you make something out of my sprues, you keep the model, so I can kind of push my friends into playing the game. A Q? Nah, bro, it needs to be a full freehand quail paint on there. Well, I figured what I can do is I'm still sketching out the design, but what I want to do is I want to do a picture of like a bird head, like a quail, specifically the Northern California quail, because that's my favorite quail. I want to do a picture of that with a Q like behind it, or the head is in the middle of the Q. I just don't know if I want to do like the Q is like partial, so like the banner's been ripped so you don't see the full Q, or if the bird is center mass. It's kind of, I'm still sketching out the idea. I don't quite know. I've just been bouncing it and running around in my head with, would this work? Would this not? How dedicated am I to the meme? You know, that kind of stuff. So working on it, but I also, most of my effort when it comes to banners is I just finished drawing up a design to throw a half rotten rat skull on this banner. I've got the design fitted. I just need to actually paint it onto that banner, which I will be procrastinating for a little bit longer. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm going with this. Because after that, if I ever get bored, I still technically have my other Wardog that I need to get done as well. Because all I done with this guy is I threw the purple on him. I threw some speed paint, but I have a lot of the metal I need to actually color in. And then I also have more on the base. Sounds too busy. Maybe just the quail and a Q on a pauldron. Maybe. It's a lot I'm going to have to think about. So little by little, I will figure something out. It's just going to take me a while. I've just been so busy at work recently that I have not been able to actually get it. It can be challenging to make things readable at this scale. Very true. That's kind of why my initial idea was just a giant Q in cursive. Just because that's kind of simple, but it can look all right. It just depends on how far I'm willing to commit to the bit on that. Whew. Yeah, that's kind of my initial idea. Because right now what I want to do is I'm trying to write a backstory so that way when I finally make a video like explaining like the painting, like my idea going into it, I want to put like a faction and a story behind each mini I paint. Just because I like writing, I think it'd be fun just to have something down. So that way in the future I can go, okay, here's this character, this is what they're doing, this is why I painted them this way. So that way I can try to focus on doing some storytelling with the painting. You know? I just think it'd be really fun to include that as like a mini challenge for myself going forward. But we will get there when we get there. For now, trying to get a base coat of my Armageddon dust on here. So I have a little bit of texture, I have a little bit of color, so I can say I've done something to drastically change the look of this guy. Man, this brush is borked. But it's the reason why I keep buying new ones. I'm playing the Assassin's Creed game where the main story has you simping. Really? I didn't realize that happened in an Assassin's Creed game. Granted, I haven't played any of them. I have a friend who tells me I need to play them. I just haven't. Granted, right now, the only console I have that's up and running and working right now is the Switch 2. And I found out I am garbage at XCOM. I bought XCOM 2 because it was on sale, and yeah, I am hot trash at XCOM. Assassin's Creed Unity. Huh. I don't know anything about Unity, I'll be perfectly honest. Trash Doves meme. I don't know that meme. I'm going to screenshot this so that way I can come back to that later, because that sounds interesting. I need to look into that. Then close this up. I need to find... You know, I think what I'm going to do, because I really like using speed paint, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some of this Blood Moon Red over this tiny bird. Because I don't want to do just black on him. I'm sure you've seen the purple pigeon head bobbing before. It's almost a decade old. Oh, it's that one. Okay. Oh. I see... Okay, I see the vision and I like it, Francois. I'm gonna have to do some. I'm gonna have to do some sketching, but I like the idea. Okay, got that. Let's see. Arnott's father gets killed by rogue assassin Shay Cormac, gets taken in by Francois de la Serre, falls in love with Elise de la Serre, goes to kiss her, and oh no, the dad dies, so he tries to find the... Okay. Yeah, I'm going to try a little bit of my Blood Moon Red as a speed paint right over the top of this bird to see the contrast I get from the purple. So he tries to find the killer, and then another assassin. Oh no, Elise is a Templar, but he's like assassins and Templars can be friends. Ah, okay. Interesting. Simping hardcore. Okay. So it's a reskinned Romeo and Juliet story. That is what it sounds like. I'm glad I'm not the only one who's kind of getting that vibe. I mean, hey, Romeo and Juliet is a very successful story for many reasons, so would not blame them for ripping that off. I mean, everybody loves the Lion King movie, and that's just Hamlet. And from Shea Cormac, that just sounds like it's based in somewhere on the English Isles. Because Cormac, I could be very wrong on this. It's been a while. Isn't that Irish in name? Like, I don't know about Shea. Lion King is meh. Basically, but it's in the French. Oh, it's a French Revolution. Okay. Lion King is meh. I mean, I agree. I'm not the biggest fan of Lion King. Most people adore it to high heaven, which, congrats, I'm glad they do. It's not my thing. And that red is not doing it for me. I thought I might like it more standing up from the mixing in over as an overcoat for the purple, but I'm not. I'm not sold on that red for the bird, so we're going to try something else. Let's see what others I have. What speed paints do I have? Poppy red? No. Not a big fan of the red as is. Try. Purple trash dove. Shea was West Indies and a colonial assassin that went rogue, killing a lot of the assassins there as well as Arnoldstad. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. So as I try to contrast to the bird, I'm going to try using Camo Cloak as a speed paint. And try to mix out of the bird to see how that goes. Purple's is my normal MO, but I wanted to see if I could get something different from purple. Just have the bird stick out a bit instead of being absorbed into the aura of the giant mech he's on. Shaq Cormac from AC5 ties the stories of 3, 4, and Unity. Oh, okay. Oh, it looks blue on your screen? Okay. Yeah, it's... The purple I used is Violet Vamp. And so it's supposed to be like a deeper, like more blue purple. So the idea is definitely to be like a more bluish purple. I just wasn't sure because I haven't used this purple before. But I got it from the Via Hill purple like Imperial box. Because I wanted more purples, and so I just bought a box of purple paints off of Amazon. I've just been trying to experiment and see how things are. So the Camo Cloak really just turns into, mixes with the red to make it more of black. If I wanted black, I could have done it. Like Macragge blue. Oh, okay. I know a lot about Assassin's Creed. Hey, it's good you do, because I don't. And I do like learning about things. Because most of my life, people have always been telling me I need to get into Assassin's Creed. I love the game. I love the story. I just never had a console to play any of the Assassin's Creed games on. So I'm not against it. I just don't know it. Like Macragge blue. You know... I kind of see it, Francois. I see what you mean. I see what you mean on that, yeah. I think I just need to repaint the feathers on the bird. I'm going to go with a thicker paint just to try something else. But I have new paints I just recently got. I have an entire order of paints brought in because I was low on some stuff and wanted some new ones. Just need to find all my new paints. Yeah, I'm not going to use that one, most likely. Let's see. Shai's an Irish assassin that was blamed for his city being demolished, so he went to find out the secrets about the Assassin's Order. They got mad, and so he ran and they chased. He got shot, fell in. Huh. Are you familiar with reduction painting? No, I am not. I would not know anything about that phrase, no. Fell in the ocean and was saved by a Templar family, so he's like, fuck it, Templars are pretty chill. Oh, okay. Like when model painters use oil paints to stain undercoats and create shadows. I don't know anything about oil paints, to be honest. Like, I started painting this year. Before that, I was strictly a black and white sketch artist. So I'm looking at, it's when you apply a paint, then wipe away most of it, cleaning off the highest points on a model. Ah, okay. Interesting. Let's see, what was that phrase? It was reduction painting. Just don't mind me screenshotting that, so I have that for later. I'm going to do some research on that, see how people are doing that. All right, so we got a choice for the bird. I'm trying to think of what to paint him. I've got a Screamer Pink, a Straken Green, and a Slaanesh Gray as new paints that I think would work all right on him. Figured I'd leave it to you guys to give me an idea on what would work best. Because I got these three colors. Let's throw them down here. And we're getting this bird's feathers colored in. Also, they had Jack the Ripper be an assassin that went rogue as well. Okay, I like that idea. Reduction painting without taking away paint washes work in a similar way, except you don't wipe washes off. Ah, okay. Yeah. I'm just not sure what to paint the bird. Tried a few things out. I feel like you guys would probably have a better idea for what might pop better on that model. Because that's kind of where I'm at right now. I know I need to paint the bird something. I just don't want him to be a black feathered bird. Hmm. Where did I put my bottle of primer? Because I need it. Red bird stained a dark color and then wiped away. Will allow some bright red to shine through without it looking like a bright red booger on the model. Okay. We'll try that then. We're going to try using the Screamer Pink first then. See how it goes. Yep. Carefully opening up the pot so I don't just fling it all over the place. Hey, Nothing Killer, how's it going, man? I am having a model crisis as I'm struggling to figure out what I want to paint a bird. Thanks, man. I think I got very close to it because I've only really touched that part of the bird with speed paints. So I think I did rub most of it off. Might have been down to the primer, I'm not sure. I don't even remember what the base coat on this guy was. It's been like 2 weeks, I think, since I last touched him. Something like that. I've been trying to do my best to not... You can see some of the camo still staying in the recesses. Okay. But yeah, I've been trying to do my best to not paint this guy off stream. I've wanted to. I have been very tempted to. But I wanted to make sure I actually did him on stream because I knew I was going to run into some moments where I just got uncertain about what to do next. And I always seem to have really good luck. Oh yeah, speed paints can reactivate when you play new coats. That's why they rubbed off. Makes sense. I've been trying to experiment more just because I want to get better at using some of this stuff. I think... So that Halo show is coming to Netflix on October 1st. Who can wait? Can you use a clear primer between coats? I don't have a clear primer. I've only got a black primer. Like I just bought this new bottle because it's running low, but I've got a Vallejo black primer. That's all I got. That Halo show is coming to Netflix on October 1st. Who can wait? I can definitely wait. But I've been very vocal about my opinions on the Halo TV series. And I need to actually finish making a video on season 2 because I never actually finished watching season 2. I got... What even happened during season 2? Because I know I got busy with something else. I wasn't able to do it. I also never finished doing a video on the entirety of season 1. Do you have Ardcoat or Lamia Medium? I don't have either of those, no. Screenshotting that so I can look into those later. The only thing I really have is more Vallejo stuff. I've got a matte and satin varnish. However, I try to be careful with those just because I haven't had the most success with them. I'm trying to be careful with them. Master Chief told Cortana to shut up. That's all I know of season 2. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know much else outside of that, so. Lots been happening with that. Game Workshop paint on varnishes. Ardcoat is gloss. Lamia Medium is matte. Okay. Yeah, applying a varnish before reduction painting is going to be key if you're using speed paints. Okay. I'm going to have to look into that because that is very helpful advice I've never heard before. And I definitely would like to learn more techniques because so far I just know a little bit of blending and just painting and layering. That's really all I know from what I've experimented with. So learning more techniques would definitely be helpful. Hey JJ, how's it going? I am learning a lot of new things from people in chat about painting techniques that I've never heard before. So I'm doing a lot of screenshotting at chat so I can actually, once I log off, I can actually do a little bit of studying to figure out what my next steps can be and what I need to get. Because I am trying to figure things out. And thankfully, everybody here has always been super helpful with me on painting. Even if I don't know exactly what I'm doing, everybody gives me ideas and it helps me push through whenever I don't know what to do. And also all the painting help and techniques is something I've never heard of because I don't know anybody in my area who actually does this. So I'm kind of just learning by myself as I go. Which is part of why I enjoy actually streaming painting all of this. Because I learn from you guys more than anything else, and it helps me become a better hobbyist. It's something I really want to work on. Well, I hope so. I don't know. Because so far, I have not been the best at keeping up and doing content creation on YouTube. I definitely need to finish getting my review videos out because I'm close to getting some of them done. Just haven't. Then I need to make my wood color. Okay. Started watching The Walking Dead. I saw like the first 2 episodes, I think, of that show. I never actually really got into it. I know some people, well, a lot of people did. I just never did. Is it any decent, Crab? Because same, I posted my Phantoms base a couple weeks ago. Haven't made a post since. I mean, that's fair. I'm already regretting it because I love it. There we go. Love zombie stuff? Okay. Okay, I got you. My son wanted to, third season now. Ah. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. Growing up, we didn't have TV that often. And once Netflix kind of started losing things in like 2012, I think, that's when, at the time, I was a child. And so my mother was paying for Netflix. But once Netflix kind of started losing everything, she just stopped paying for her Netflix subscription. So, never really saw much after that. And I've been struggling to catch up on the shows I wanted to watch. And I also need to buy hard copies of things. Because I have been struggling to convince some of my friends to watch things. Also, the actor that played Yondu in the MCU was in the second episode. Huh. Okay. Duties and most? Huh. Spoiler. Yeah, you don't got to worry about spoiling things for me, because I don't care about spoilers. As long as it's interesting, I care more about the journey than the destination for most TV shows. Phantom Base. There we go, yeah. What's up, Foxhole? On my other channel? Oh, gotcha. I'll have to check it out sometime. But I wasn't expecting to see Yondu use the hard R. So when you say hard R, are we talking like... He's playing a racist character? Oh, okay, so we are talking that. Oh, okay, interesting. He's the craziest character in the show. Hey, you know what? That's fair. Actors get paid to say crazy things. I mean, everybody loved Robert Downey Jr. playing a black man, so I don't think any of us are surprised. Because I know people to this day still meme that Robert Downey Jr. is their favorite black actor. Reparations, a hard R. Yeah, there we go. That's a good way to phrase it. It's always so hard to say because it's really difficult to dance around certain words on the internet. I guess for me, I'm biased against it because part of what I used to do is when I was living in Mexico, I was an English teacher. And because I taught people who didn't speak English, I had to do like cultural classes because whatever's popular in America kind of gets imported through movies and music. And so with a lot of people learning English, I had to teach them, you shouldn't be saying the N-word. But of course, you can't just say the N-word in Spanish. La palabra N doesn't make sense or mean anything in that culture. And so I would just straight out say the word so they knew what word I was talking about. So it's like, hey, so this is the word, this is how you say it. You shouldn't be saying it, and here's why. you know, that's kind of like how I've always been. And so from my standpoint, I just don't like dancing around and not being able to say the word because, I don't want to get my channel banned for saying the word. I don't mean it in a, like, just in a, oh, hey, this, we're talking about this thing and that there's context for it. But, it'd just be easier to be able to say it without having to immediately get in trouble. If Fireman was black, who do you hire to play him? Robert Downey Jr. Yep. Best black man in Hollywood. I'm joking. Morgan Freeman is my favorite, but Robert Downey Jr. is pretty high up there. I don't know. Internet censorship is weird. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's on there too long. I'm going to have to repaint that section. Okay. I like Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson's good. He's in some good stuff. I just haven't seen all of his, like, better movies. It's not weird. It's illegal. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to phrase it right. I think Denzel Washington is probably my favorite. Denzel Washington's really good. He's really good. He's in some good stuff. I've seen him in some stuff that I really like too. Okay. I think I'm going to try to experiment with something. Because I think for the bird, I need some eyes that stand out, but I need him to look evil. So I'm going to try just a touch of yellow. White first. I mean, white first might be smarter. I don't know. He's so thin right now. I don't quite. I need to pull up the sprue to find the other bird. Because I know I've got another bird on this sprue over here. Where's that sprue? Because I need to find what the other bird looks like. Because I might be missing the mark on where that eye is. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, well, these aren't the right sprues. Well. Now I got the sprues. Where is it? That was a sick model. Thanks, JJ. So in Assassin's Creed Unity, there are riddles, and I hate riddles. What? What's wrong with riddles? Looks like the guys from Dark Crystal on steroids. That is kind of what I was hoping to go for. I wanted him to look evil, but I wanted to have a little bit of fun with him. So I'm glad that I'm given the Dark Crystal vibes. That's what I was hoping for most with that. Where on earth? Because these are the other sprues for the intercessor. Or for the infiltrators. That's the name to think of. Where is... Oh, there's the sisters. Battle sprues. I need to figure those out. How many mice does it take to screw in a light bulb? I don't know. How many mice does it take to screw in a light bulb? Oh, cool. I found bases. Where's the rest of my screws? Is Carmen San Diego? Hello. Hey, James. How's it going, man? Sorry, I am in the middle of being scatterbrained right now because I am just realizing just how messy my work desk has gotten and disorganized because I can't find what I was looking for. But don't ask me how they got in there. Okay, you know, fair enough, Francois, fair enough. The riddles send you across Paris to learn about Paris, so you can put the Riddler behind bars. Wait, wrong game. That's to unlock a super cool outfit that is totally worth it and not disappointing. Oof. Yeah, mind you, I was trying to find my the other sprues because for the Wardogs they come with. You have two birds, one on one of the two different sprues. I need to bring this up so I can show you. These are all the sprues I could find, and not a single one of these have the bird on it. Two of them are for the Chaos Wardogs. The rest of these are Sisters of Battle and my Space Marine infiltrators. Maybe right game, I got 240%. So I get a super cool bat suit that is totally worth it and not disappointing. Fair, fair. No, my sarcasm. Yeah, I'm noticing it. Chaos Wardogs. Oh boy. Oh yeah, I forgot how many extra bits I had for my aggressors. Gosh dang. Okay, well. Trying to keep these all separated from my Skaven. Oh, here it is. Okay, found it. Okay, so I'm not crazy. Basically, I want to look on the sprue to find where the eye is on this thing. It's not. They give you the ridge for it. Like, I can see the ridge right above here, but they don't have a defined eye. So that's a little annoying, not going to lie. But we're just going to work with it. Just going to paint down the... find where I put that brush. Just going to paint down around from the yellow to make it smaller. Just going to clean the brush. But, I don't know. When it comes to riddles and games, I feel like it really depends on how interesting the riddles are. Because sometimes they can be fun, and other times they're just awful. But I would also say that with some of them, they can be kind of set like cool timepieces. from when games were made at that time era. Because certain games definitely didn't need them. But other games definitely made good work and use of them. Okay. AC Unity ones are good, but the Batman ones, fair enough. And that is too much. I need to let that dry and go back over it when I have time. Actually, you know what? Might be cooler if I just make it so that this eye is damaged, so we can't open it anyway. The AC Unity ones are good. AC Unity ones are smart and engage you in the world. Okay, well that's good at least. I'm gonna mix a little bit of Wraithbone with the red. I'll try to blend it together so that way I can make it look like scar tissue. Okay. Okay, then we're going to streak it around. Give that a little bit to dry off. Then we're going to thin it down by painting back around it, the edges with red. Okay. Damage to the face. Yellow eye. Okay. Now I just need to get, I think I'm going to throw, where is it? I'm going to throw a bit of a satin varnish over the bird's feathers, just to keep the red like that. And then I'm going to throw an occultist cloak layer of speed paint on top. It's not too dark of a black that'll take over everything, but I'm hoping that it's also just dark enough that it throws on some decent shadows at the bottom of the bird. First, I gotta get a different brush. Just make sure it all dries first. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the varnish on first, and I'm just going to focus on getting the base color for the rocks done next. Just so that way I can give it some actual time to dry. What's your favorite time period and region? Huh. Favorite time period and region? I'm kind of biased, and it feels cringe to admit it, but I love the Pride and Prejudice series. I grew up reading and watching it as a kid, so I would say 1880s Victorian England, probably my favorite setting. Yes, there were things going on in the world around that time, but I liked the aristocracy and I liked the storytelling from that time era. There's just something about it that always appealed to me that I really enjoyed. The problem is that was back when England was sensible and actually interesting to talk about. Nowadays, there really isn't much to say about England. I mean, sure, I'm just an American, so... Well, not only am I an American, I'm an American who, even in the 2000s, I never bought into the British hype. I just didn't like it that much. Closest Assassin's Creed to get to is Syndicate with the Fire Twins. Okay. I mean, if I'm going to play an Assassin's Creed game, I'm going to go with my friend's suggestion, and I'm going to go with Black Flag. Because that's the one that my friend tells me I would love the most. Can't spell cuck without the UK. Fair. It was London Steam era. Ah, gotcha. All right. So for the most part, when I've done my bases, I want to keep it on the same world as my Dark Krakens. I mostly just use Lauren Forest as my base for the rocks, just because I want to give the rocks a different color than rock color. So I'm going to throw in a bunch of Lauren Forest on this, and I want to see... But I want to think about what I can do from there, because I feel like there's something I can do to improve my base a bit. At least make the colors more interesting. Also, I need to buy a new Lauren Forest, because I am almost out of this. Play Black Flag, then it's DLC, then Rogue, then 3, Unity, and Syndicate if you play it. Okay, good to know. Just gonna, forgive me, screenshot that, so that way I have that on hand so I can keep that in mind. That's the best way to have the most stories connect. Ah, gotcha. Okay, throw this on my wet palette. Yeah, I need to buy a couple of things of Lauren Forest, because I use that for a lot. But yeah, because one thing that I've been doing that I enjoy is I found that if I mix Lauren Forest with a Wraithbone, it makes a really nice goblin flesh color. And so I've been using that for the goblins I paint for D&D, and I want to get some more goblin minis soon. So I'm gonna need to get more Lauren Forest because I am almost out of that pot. Otherwise, there's 1, 2 Brotherhood Revelations, the Ember short film, and Chronicles China. Oh, okay. Feudal Japan and World War II are my favorite time periods regions. Okay. Starts with Altair, then follows Ezio from Yogolo to death, then Xiao Jun from training with Ezio to her story. Oh, okay. And I am hoping to start streaming a lot more often, but I will also be changing some of the content that I do. I'm still going to be doing all my painting streams, but since I also have internet once again, I'm hoping that once I get my computer hooked up and running, I want to start doing some runs of some old video games I used to play, and so I can stream a bit more often. But also, I want to finish getting some stuff done on those, just so that way I can try to get more. I can convince more people to play certain games, emulation mostly, but still. Been making my own paint, not much fun, but the result makes me happy. I can imagine that's a difficult process, or I don't know if difficult would necessarily be it. I think tedious is probably what I mean more. I can see that being very tedious, but also very rewarding, because I can see that being very nice. Assassin's Creed also has a mobile game, for better or worse. That's a very fair statement to have, yeah. Nope, I just pulled a rock off there. That's annoying. Tedious is an accurate descriptor. Yeah. Because sometimes sometimes doing something isn't necessarily hard. It's just so tedious that it's difficult to continue doing on a frequent basis. So I try to pace myself, because if I say everything's hard, then nobody's going to believe me when I say something is legitimately hard. Because sometimes it's just tedium. Useful, worth it tedium, but tedium nonetheless. Okay. This brush won't do for getting the rest of the details. I need something better. Well, it's a recipe you gotta create from scratch, then try to duplicate each coat you need to paint on. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. That could be a handful real fast. I can see that. Yeah. Okay. I will say, if there's ever a time for me to buy and invest in an airbrush, this base is definitely the time when I should have had an airbrush. However, since I do all my painting in my bedroom, I don't want to use an airbrush in my room because, gosh dang, the fumes alone. Thanks, Bulb. Am I back to 140? Oh, gosh dang it. That's exciting. I was at 140 for a little bit, but with the rant video I posted a little while ago, I definitely had some interesting discourse on that. And I should probably also come clean about that. For anybody wondering why that video is now missing from my channel, I've never been proud of my other rant video that I made. So I kind of just took the opportunity to private that and both of my rant videos at the same time. Just not proud. Yes, I get numbers whenever I do them and I do get subscribers. I don't know, I just don't like doing the reactionary content. And I just kept waking up feeling like shit. Like I could feel, like I just wake up in the morning and I just feel like somebody was sending hatred towards me. Like I don't know, I just didn't like it. Dark Souls is hard, Elden Ring is hard, Peppa Pig's Big Adventure is hard, motherfucker, I'm hard, but you don't hear me complaining. This is legally a joke. Hey man, that's just how it goes. Base hemorrhage. Yeah, well. I mean, even if the hemorrhage was based, it was still a reactionary video where I was just kind of saying what came to mind. I'm just not proud of it because I could have been more articulate if I took the time to actually explain myself more. I wouldn't have given certain viewpoints to people that they thought I believed. I mean, sure, some of the people in those comment sections were vicious. But yeah, I just wasn't proud of it. Yeah, it's definitely outside your normal range of content. Yeah. Don't sweat it. Half the population is below average IQ, and average IQ is straight up retarded. No, that is true. I do agree. And yeah, it is out of my normal range of content, but that's still no excuse. I should still have a modicum of, like, even if I don't, I just felt like I was setting a bad precedent for myself of, if I don't have a script, I just don't explain myself that well. Even when I've had a script, I've sometimes given people the wrong impression. But I always try to live by the phrase, don't explain, because modifying the phrase, because the phrase is, like, I was taught this phrase when I was learning to be a teacher. It's, don't explain things so that people can understand you. Explain it so that they can't misunderstand you. That's kind of what my goal has always been. And so whenever I feel like I don't explain myself well because I'm ranting, I just didn't feel good about it. Ow. I definitely didn't word mine well. I felt like yours was more articulate than mine and more composed. I mean, I'm used to thinking on the fly. It's just kind of thing. My whole opinion is death is bad, and I know people will still try to justify it. I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Crab. Death is very bad. But yeah, that... I don't know. I just didn't feel too proud about it, so I just wanted to get it off my channel. I still technically have it on my channel. It's just private now instead of public. I don't know. I didn't feel proud of it. And if I don't feel good about a video, I just couldn't justify keeping it on there. Because sure, I'm not very proud of my older videos, like my Halo video. I could have done so much better in explaining points. I could have at least written the script better. I'm pretty sure I could go back and redo that Halo video alone 10 times better than what I originally did. But I try to keep it up there so that I can remember how I started and where I'm going and how I've improved over time, is why I've never wanted to private anything before. But the rant videos, I didn't put a lot of time or effort into them. And so I just figured it was kind of the easier ones to get rid of. If you can't negotiate with terrorist ideologues, then what are you left with? I mean, that is true, Francois. That is true. As I did say, they killed the guy who was willing to speak, and so it kind of is a symbolic and metaphorical death to open dialogue in society if we're killing that guy. I'm going to be busting my ass on my next actual videos on all 3 channels. I wish you luck on that. Correct your points for the Halo Season 2 vid. That's kind of what I'm thinking of. Because the whole thing I was going to do with the Halo Season 2 video is I wanted to do Season 2 to explain and talk about Season 2. But then after I was done talking about Season 2 is when I would talk about like, hey, here's my vision for like an ODST show. Of like, hey, here's how I'd write an actual Halo TV series that I think would draw people in. However, part of it, what's been taking me so long is 1, I haven't watched all of Season 2 of the Halo TV series. And 2, I never finished. I was in the middle of making a custom drawing of myself. I was drawing a new avatar, like a 2D avatar to use for it. And it was going to be just me in a custom painted ODST armor. And how I do a decal over my mask. But that is something I need to actually hunker down and finish. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I still got a video I need to make about Star Wars. I've almost finished my video on Call of the Night for Season 1. Mostly just a review and trying to convince people to watch Call of the Night, but hey. If they watch it or don't, at least as long as I get the video on my channel, I'll feel better about it. But I don't know. It'll definitely take a bit. Then I think what I'm going to do, I've got this green that came in the mail recently. I kind of want to mix this in and try to dry brush it over the rocks just to give it like some edge highlighting, but nothing too exciting or extravagant. I love Season 1. Can't wait to actually sit down and watch Season 2. Dude, Season 2 has been so good. Like, let me know when you're caught up with Season 2. I know that a new episode released this week. I haven't seen it yet. But holy crap. I have so much to say on that. It's good. I've been excited about it. But, oh boy. There have been some things that have happened. Season 2 is the backstory season. Also, the opening for Season 2 is legendary. Mirage by Creepy Nuts. I've been listening to it quite a bit on repeat. Creepiness has like 3 or 4 legit bangers. Oh yeah, no. I like Call of the Night, like when I was doing research for my video, apparently Creepy Nuts, the band, they just had a bunch of music that the author really liked, and so we got permission from Creepy Nuts to turn a manga, like to write a story in a manga with the name as one of their songs. Because he's like, hey, yeah, I'm inspired by you guys. Can I get permission to make something based off of the vibes and what I found from your music? And they gave him the go-ahead. They said, yeah, go for it. It's also the same guy who did Dagashi Kashi, which I feel like almost nobody knows what Dagashi Kashi is. It was like 2017 is a very niche anime that came out back then. But yeah, he did Dagashi Kashi, and then second time, like his second story was Call of the Night. It's interesting. I just listened to the Bible for guidance, drag abominations to the city gates and stone them, and cry all you want, you only get into heaven by following God's commands. Matthews 11:21-23. I mean, I will say this much. Matthew was a disciple and an apostle of Christ. Who am I to question what the apostle of Christ has to say? There definitely been some posts that I've been seeing on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. I know it's X, but people have been posting it with this different images, but it's do not make peace with evil, destroy it. That is definitely kind of how I've been feeling about some of this stuff. Not going to lie. Things are definitely getting out of hand. What's ironic, Crab? Well, I reference the Old Testament a lot, and retards think it's to be ignored. Meanwhile, in Matthew, Jesus is telling people it's not enough to say you love Jesus, you have to do my Father as well. No, that's true. The thing is, when people say that the Old Testament is null and void, the issue is if you don't understand the Old Testament, you don't understand the significance of the New Testament. I mean, Christ even says, search these words as they testify of me. If you truly want to understand Christ and his purpose, you need to understand the Old Testament because it's the prophecy of his importance, his role, and what will happen. Not to mention there's also, I know it's controversial, but I am part of the Mormon faith. I'm a convert. I converted when I was in my teenage years, and when I became an adult, I actually was more serious about it. But something that I have noticed is that, like, for example, one scripture we use a lot is in Ezekiel chapter 36, where it talks about the stick of Judah and the stick of Ephraim. Because according to our doctrine, this is a biblical prophecy from the Old Testament talking about how the Bible and Book of Mormon will be used in the last days as a testament of God. That is one thing that they use. And that's something that we believe is the interpretation for that prophecy, but of course that gets into the weeds of other things. In Assassin's Creed Unity, Arno is a noble family, but the poor people are completely willing to die for him in the French Revolution. Yeah, that makes sense. I've been really working myself since the 10th. I just don't believe I can justify how laid back I've been. I've been drinking about 10 days and counting it to November. Taking about 10 days. Okay, fair. Definitely admirable, but when working on ourselves, it's always difficult because it always feels like, I mean, I'll say something I've learned in life is 2 steps forward and 1 step back is still progression. But damn, is that disheartening to deal with sometimes. And I know it's not Christian-like for me to swear as often as I do, but I'm sorry. I've got the mouth of a sailor. I've been trying to work on it, but I am no saint. Heaven has gates for a reason, and so should your community. Let a bunch of demons into heaven, and it's no longer heaven. Hence, your beloved neighbor is only supposed to be a member of your congregation. Makes sense. Makes sense. I'd agree with that. I'm going to be eating a ton of protein, exercising a lot, hopefully going to the range. Oh, there we go. I've been hitting the gym, trying to hit the gym as often as I can, but I don't know. I'm thinking 8 to 12 kids minimum if I can find someone crazy enough for me. I mean, forgive me, I got to go with the joke because this is in line with me. If you want a woman who wants a lot of kids, Mormon women love children, my guy. There's a reason why there's a joke within the whole Mormon community that we have 10 to 50 kids. Very much, it's family oriented, and there are women who will absolutely want to go for that many. Now, personally, I wouldn't mind having a lot of kids, but thanks to a vision I had, I already know that I'm only having 2. And so I am content with 2. Roman Catholic convert from a traditional Latin mass. Okay, fair. Women. The Bible says love everyone. Timothy 12, 2:21, 2:12. I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man. Yeah, that's true. My wife was watching Apothecary Diaries, and that dude in it said the line, "I am far from being done with you," and I swear that he sounded like Kermit the Frog. I have not seen Apothecary Diaries in English. I need to get caught up on season 2 because I only saw season 1, but my friends and I really like season 1. Season 2 is one I definitely want to look into. Season 2 should be fun. But oh boy, we got Kermit the Frog and Apothecary Diaries. I'm sold. I need to listen to this. And I will say, yeah, when it comes to the Bible, it's very interesting on how people interpret it and how things go. From what I have seen and what I will always say about the Bible is that although Revelation may change, hi-ho, Kermit the Pog here. I don't have a good Kermit voice, or I try. But when it comes to the Bible, there's definitely a thing of we definitely need to look into context for everything. It's why I get in hot water with certain groups, because certain verses of the Bible, depending on if you understand the cultural vernacular of how they phrase it, definitely changes things. And so it's very odd and very difficult. But of course, finding a lot of people who are willing to have a good faith conversation about the Bible nowadays, I stopped doing that long ago. I had a friend who would take me to Eye of the Needle and all. Oh, very true. Because I had a friend who, she was Christian, and she and I, like, she knew I was a missionary, like a former missionary for my church. And so I'd spent some time reading the Bible, studying it, and she goes, well, here, why don't you come with me to my Bible study group, and we'll see how that works. So I went out of good faith because I figured, okay, friend wants me to come, it'll be fun, right? I asked one question and all hell broke loose in that Bible study group. I legitimately asked one question. And so for me, that was kind of my turning point, because I used to talk with other people about the Bible a lot more often. Nowadays, I really don't, just because half the time I just get disappointed. Because I'll ask a question and it's no longer a good-natured like debate on things. It turns into, okay, we need to shut this guy up and tell him that he's wrong. And that's not how I want to engage when it comes to debates or questions about theology, because I do believe that I have found the truth and that I know what like is actually true. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm also willing to admit that at the end of the day, this is a faith-based religion. I believe with my whole heart that God has spoken to me and told me that what I have found the right religion. But this is still a faith-based religion at the end of the day. And so I'm willing to concede I've made a mistake if God tells me, yeah, I led you here for this reason. Now I need to lead you somewhere else, you know? I'm willing to be humble enough to say, okay, maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. Maybe I've gotten the wrong idea or impression. That's just how things go sometimes, you know? But some people are a little too dogmatic to have a good-natured debate with that in mind. And so I just kind of get lost in the weeds dealing with people who want to prove me wrong rather than just go back and forth on, hey, how do we talk about this in a way that's like contributing to our spiritual growth rather than tearing somebody down? What was the question? You won't believe how much I incensed a Baptist by saying, get some good rest, God willing. Well, that's a problem. She is to keep her mouth closed and ask her husband in private to interpret the Bible for her. Yeah. There's a YouTuber I follow called Nux Taku, and I think he phrased it in a way that I think is better than how I'll paraphrase it. But he basically said that part of society, like part of an issue with society, is that we've gone from the traditional masculine thing, where traditional masculinity is giving. It is about selflessness, building yourself up, and a little bit of humility to encourage others. Whereas nowadays we have a lot more of the feminist side of things that's focused, where for women it's a bit more men give, women receive. Like, again, he phrased it better than I did, but it's just the typical masculinity versus femininity. Masculinity is inclined to give, where femininity is to receive. So that way they're separate but complementary. And that as far as society goes, we've definitely become more self-centered. And I don't want to say self-centered in a bad way necessarily, but we focus so much on ourselves that we don't focus on the community as a whole. We don't give to each other and our neighbors as much as we should to build up our communities and society. You're supposed to steel your heart and mind to the influences of women. The Bible is not for them to interpret. It literally says so as a literal word of God. Naxaku, that's a name I haven't heard positively in a long time. Not fair. Nux is my favorite tuber. I can't wait for him to join me in the repeal the 20th century ideology. Nux gets slandered and shat on like nobody else. He really does. Look, I followed Nux Taku since 2017, because before then, the first YouTuber I started following was Noble of Lost Paws in 2016. And so 2017, he reacted to a few videos from Nux, and then I started watching Nux. And so it's been interesting to see him go from anime-focused content to general like media content. And now he's doing politics, which I didn't expect. But I do respect it because I don't know too many Jews in general. And so hearing like his interpretation and his views on things as a Jew definitely it's definitely given me a different perspective on things. 2010, I found Teching 101 and learned of Nux. Ah, gotcha. And I'll be honest, Francois, I definitely agree with that. I believe that there's different ways to look at the Bible, but there is a focus and a reason why God created a patriarchal society in everything he did. So I would say that's definitely, there's a reason for it. I'm not entirely certain of the reason. I don't think I could explain the reason, but I definitely say there's a reason why it is the way it is. And so that's definitely something I've been trying to pray about and ponder just to see how I should go about it, you know? And if you believe in the Bible, it says the Bible is the word of God, not the word of the men who penned it. Oh, that is true. It is supposed to be the living word. I'm from Boston. The Yiddish is part of my vernacular, and I was born in the Jewish suburb of Boston. Ah, gotcha. I watched Lost Pause, then found Nux. Yep. So we're on a similar pipeline to him. But yeah, no, it's something that I had been thinking about recently, because I definitely paused for thought when Nux mentioned that in one of his more recent videos. But I do like his outlook on things, just because I grew up in a family who were very Orthodox, and it's more of the Orthodox sect of the Methodist religion. I then went away from Nux and more to moist critical. Fair. But with my family growing up, I knew a lot about the Methodists because my great-grandfather was a preacher for the Methodist, like he was a Methodist minister who traveled the world. And so there's definitely something in there that with my family, we definitely grew up on that. And then the other side of my family is Native American. And so I was always in a Christian environment, but I haven't really known too many people outside of Christianity or Native American beliefs. And so seeing Nux and listening to his like explanations on things, whether it talks about like his interpretation of the Torah or just the Old Testament only, is very interesting as a Christian. So I listen to it a lot. You and I are created in his image, while women were an afterthought, lesser made of man's rib, literally created to be our companion, not as our equals. I mean, true. A word that I've never fully explored, Francois, is helpmeet, because I read the King James version of the Bible. And so it's always phrased that the man needed a helpmeet for him, somebody to work with him. So that's always something I've been trying to ponder and consider on how that works. I made my friend laugh by doing a Forrest Gump impression earlier today. Ah, interesting. The last time I did anything with regards to Forrest Gump, KJV is the one to read, in my opinion. Oh, I fully believe so. I prefer KJV just because it was translated under, if you fuck up the translation, you're dying and getting replaced by a different guy. And so it might be barbaric, but at the same time, I don't think it was too barbaric when trying to get people to translate the Bible as correctly as needed for the Word of God to be as close to perfect as can be. I love hearing Tectones say that among three creators, Nuxtaku helped to lead him to Jesus. That's the one that I find it interesting the most, because I would have never expected Nux to lead anybody to Christ necessarily, but I know that he definitely would have pushed him to like, hey, find religion in a positive way. Because I was listening to Tectone's video earlier today about Hassan, and it was very interesting. Definitely gave me some food for thought on that. Granted, I can't watch Hassan because I find him insufferable. Nux got base pilled after October 7th. True. Yeah, the guy who led a whole crusade in order to get a true translation is the version I'm interested in reading. Right? Okay. A bunch of his family died and all that mess. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I haven't kept up too much with like Nux's like personal life and lore because I know he's talked about it, but I wouldn't be surprised. And with that being the case, I can't imagine he would be like. I hope he's doing all right because it sounds like he did get married. Like I thought he did a while ago, but I never paid too much attention or follow him that closely to know. But the way he's been talking recently definitely sounds like he did get married, which I'm excited for him on that. Everybody deserves happiness, and I'm glad he was able to find it. Okay. So for the most part, the base is kind of done. If I want to finish the base, though, I need to finish, because what I want to do is, similar to how I got my metal dirty on my Skaven, because I use Balthazar Gold and then I use my algae green speed paint over top of it. I want to use that same green color to dirty up all of the metal on my knight first, and then I want to dry brush more of like what I'm using here for the dust right onto the feet, so that way it's like, hey, dust is kicked up, stuff is caked on, and so it's a little bit more dirty and grimy. I want to do that. I need to figure out what I'm going to put on the banner here. And then I also need to give a darker color for the bird feathers. But so far, this guy's coming along nice, so I'm excited to get this guy finished up eventually. But also, been working on these guys. This was a model I almost messed up, but I was having a lot of fun with trying to figure out how to use that arm. So I got these guys here. This one I'm going to put a bit of on a ridge, so that way he's looking up at somebody on the ridge. Just because if I put him like this, he's looking down, so he might be executing something, but I kind of want him just peering over, cresting a ridge. I just wanted to try a different base like pose with this guy, because I wanted to use this arm, but this is the only like arm I could find. Because the Infiltrator arms really aren't good for the left arm. They don't have too much. I'm kind of disappointed with the range. But, there goes the Pumpkin Knight. My favorite model I got so far, I added some more stuff, but it's the guy I threw the Space Shark a bits onto him. So I found a Purity Seal from the Space Sharks. Want to throw that on there. I got an anchor, and then I got a bag with a little anchor on it and some texturing. So hoping to get these guys ready so I can paint them soon as well. That's kind of most of what I've been working on recently there. I think he definitely got married years ago. Doesn't have babies yet. Yeah, I don't think he has children yet, but he definitely has a wife. People might speculate that it was to Hermes from Mythos, given their podcast last year. You know, I wouldn't be surprised by that. The Bible says a good and virtuous woman is as rare and valuable as is a pile of rubies equal to her weight. How rare is that? Monk mode equals saving your love for the Lord, the only place where true love lays. That is true. Because the Bible also says in Proverbs that it's better to dwell in the mountains than live with a contentious and angry woman. So, and there is truth to that. I've definitely been around some women where, oof, I feel sorry for the guys in their lives. But I think I'm going to have to end it here just because I got to wake up in the morning so I can go to I got some early morning meetings at church. I haven't made said early morning meeting in 3 weeks because I've been working too late at night with my normal job because I've been working Saturdays for the past while. So I definitely need to actually get some sleep so I can make it there on time for once. Especially because I'm the guy organizing all the temple trips, and so I kind of need to explain everything and get everybody on board on stuff. Is Virtuous that hard to find? I'll accept a base and bouncy. Some, at least some. Same, but because I'm in Virginia. Hey, People are who they are. Individuals are who they are. That's just how it goes. Get some good rest, God willing. Thanks, Crab. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming out. Thanks for talking with me and just letting me be real on stream. I love you guys so much, and I'm glad that I'm able to actually talk honestly with you guys, because gosh dang, in Oregon, it can be hard to find people I can talk honestly with. So have a good night, everybody. I hope you guys get some sleep as well, but I'll see you guys whenever I see you next. Hopefully I should be able to stream more frequently and a lot sooner, but we'll see. Until then, thank you all for coming out, and I hope you guys have a good night.